Okay, so now here's where we put things together in the general case. Now, we call this fact by grouping, okay? Or it's also called the AC method, or what I like to really term it is I think is the most accurate way of describing this method, which is the method of decomposition. And the way this works is we first start with the general form, ax squared plus bx plus c. And if you notice, if you look at that term, the way we want to do this is we want to find two numbers whose product is a times c, and whose sum adds up to this. So we're going to take the product of AC, this is why it's called the AC method. So we're going to take AC, okay, and we want to find two factors of AC, right? Let's call it E and D, right? They don't have to be the same factors. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, I don't know. But we're taking this product, right? So actually, yeah. So we're taking this product, whatever this number turns out to be, and we want to find two factors of this product that when we add them together, oops, they give us the middle term. And that's why it's called, in many textbooks, called the AC method. Okay, this textbook, or the textbook that I'm using right now, calls it factor by grouping. Okay, you'll see why in a moment, why it's called factor by grouping. Okay, but I like the method of decomposition because you'll see why it's called that too. So what we want to do is we want to take A and C and multiply them. So in this case, I want to take 6 times negative 20, which gives us negative 120. And I want to find two factors of negative 120 that add up to positive 7. And since it's negative, the larger term has to be positive. Okay? So, what are two factors of 120 that add up to a positive 7? So the larger factor has to be positive. Okay? So I could, again, we want numbers that are going to be close to each other, right? So that doesn't work, right? But then 6 and negative 20 doesn't work, or 20 and negative 6 doesn't work. What else can we use? Eight. What about 8? So we'll do negative 8. Well, negative 8 and 15. That'll work. 8 times 10 is 80, plus 40 is 120. So yes, negative 120. So these are the two numbers that will work. And so now here's where the decomposition comes in. I'm going to use these two factors to decompose the middle term. So this is going to be 6x squared plus 15x minus 8x minus 20. So all I did decompose 7x into these two pieces using these factors. And now, this is where the factor by grouping comes in. Because now, I'm going to factor this whole thing by grouping. Remember what I said in previous video. We usually use factor by grouping when we have 4 terms. Well, here are the 4 terms. And now we can factor by grouping. And it doesn't matter if we did this one first and this one or flip them. It will always work. Okay, so now I'm going to make this into a plus negative. Remember what I said in the previous videos, just to make it easy so we don't make a mistake here. So I'm going to make this into a plus negative, and then I'm going to put my parentheses around the two groups. And now I'm going to find the greatest common factor here and the greatest common factor here. So the greatest common factor of this one is going to be 3x, which will leave behind a 2x and plus 5. Now, what will magically happen is I should get a 2x plus 5 here. So I'm going to subtract out a negative 4. Okay? A negative 4 will leave behind 2x plus 5. And now I've got a common factor here and here. So now I'm going to factor out this common factor. So I'm going to pull it out. And so now what does that leave behind? It leaves behind a 3x minus 4. And I'm done. There it is. That is how you're going to factor out any general trinomial. Okay? This is what I call the method of decomposition, or the AC method. Okay? This works every single time if it is factorable into integer constants. Okay? So no more guess and check. No more trial and error. You can forget that. Okay? I have never liked that. It's good at the beginning so you learn the process of what you're doing, but when you figure out the method and you know why it works, do this. Okay? It's all based in the algebra. Okay? See you next time.